This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content.
Hey, what's up? And welcome to Hot Takes, the video where I go through you guys' hot takes over the weeks on the comments in my channel and respond to some of the spiciest takes being left in my comment section. Let's start with Eric, who says, if Dillon Gabriel were 6'1", he would have been the second quarterback taken in the first round. He'd be a good number 2 quarterback for the Browns. Very, very debatable sentiment there. I don't know if that's really the case with Dillon. Again, I really hope we don't do to Dillon Gabriel what a lot of Browns fans did to DTR. When DTR got drafted here, people first questioned the pick, and then weeks after questioning the pick, I started getting messages about how Dorian Thompson-Robinson has the athletic ability of Lamar Jackson and the arm talent of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not joking. This is stuff that got said to me. And then he had the good Hall of Fame game. And then people were like, oh, well, maybe he could start over Deshaun Watson. And then DTR played, and he wasn't good. He looked like a 5th-round pick. And people unleashed so much fury on DTR because of that. I fear something similar is happening with Dillon Gabriel. You can argue the same thing could be happening with Shedeur Sanders, where people want this to work so badly for whatever reason they want it to, that they're willing to overrate it and put these guys on a pedestal that they don't belong on. And then once the second it's obvious they didn't belong on that pedestal, people are going to be super, super ruthless about tearing that person down. Dillon Gabriel would not have been the second pick in the draft if he were 6'1". But also, he's not 6'1". He's 5'11", almost 5'10". Like he's like 5'11" and 1/8 inch. He's an eighth of an inch away from being 5'10". So he's not 6'1". He's not even close to 6'1". So it does matter that he's not 6'1". And I don't know of a quarterback that is the age that Dillon is and plays the way that Dillon plays, which is very, very, very conservative, would be a first-round pick. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Some of y'all not going to like that. Some of y'all going to think I'm hating on the guy. I'm just being realistic about him. And right now to some people, because people have overrated him for whatever reason, they've chosen to overrate him. Sorry about that. That me saying very realistic stuff about Dillon Gabriel is going to register some people as hating him. It's not the case. I like Dillon. He has a chance to be a backup in the league. But that's really it. This is another example of what I mean by people are really getting enthusiastic about Dillon Gabriel and really putting a bar on him that I just think is unfair. This comment right here, by the way, 28 of y'all like this. So don't say I'm cherry picking here. 28 of y'all like this. Alien Overlord Snow says, please don't trade for Purdy. Weak arm, bad elbow, short, too expensive. Gabriel will be just as good by midseason. Sir, do you know how crazy of a statement that is? Like, people say this, and because people talk so much shit about Brock Purdy, and because Brock Purdy constantly is put on pedestals that he doesn't belong on, right? We got to talk people out of it. This kind of stuff happens with Brock, where then people talk about Brock Purdy as if he's super replaceable. Brock Purdy would be the best quarterback the Cleveland Browns have ever had, especially since 1999. Like, he's been a passer rating leader. He did that in 2023. He's been a Pro Bowler in 2023 as well. He's a career touchdown interception ratio of 64-27. Acting like Brock Purdy is chopped liver. If we can just easily get a quarterback the quality of Brock Purdy with Dillon Gabriel, who is, let me check here, a full inch and 3/8 shorter than Brock Purdy and smaller, lighter too. Brock Purdy was 212 at the combine. He's 200. Is kind of crazy, y'all. It's kind of crazy. I know somebody's going to post Dillon Gabriel's college stats and compare them with Brock Purdy's and say, well, see, they're better. But there's been a lot of quarterbacks who have had better college stats than Brock Purdy and has not had the pro career of Brock Purdy. Again, I'm not saying Brock Purdy's amazing. I'm never one of these Brock Purdy for MVP people, but Brock Purdy is a consistent starter in the NFL. And like just saying like, Dillon Gabriel be just as good as him mid-season is wild. Is absolutely wild. Like, yeah, we're just going to get a starting quarterback who can make a Pro Bowl super easy in the mid-round. Just you wait. That's wild. That's insane. Like, and they're not even similar quarterbacks because Brock Purdy's a risk taker. Like, it's a big part of his success that he's willing to take risk with the football and fit the ball into tight windows. Dillon Gabriel is absolutely not a risk taker. So, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think y'all getting a little bit excited about Dillon, and I think we ought to dial it back because ultimately, when you're wrong about this, or if you're wrong about this, which again, you're just saying don't trade for Purdy. He's weak arm, he's short, he's too expensive, and then you're like Dillon's going to be just as good when Dillon's shorter and has a weaker arm. When we do this stuff and we're just like, yeah, Dillon Gabriel could be easily better than Brock Purdy, we are setting up Dillon Gabriel to fail, and you're going to make Dillon Gabriel pay for that, right? You're going to be one of the people in the comments calling Dillon Gabriel one of the worst quarterbacks to ever touch a Cleveland Browns uniform and just absolutely hate him. It does not have to be that way. Let's just let it play out, right? Let's let it play out with Shedeur Sanders. Let's let it play out with Dillon Gabriel. We don't know who's going to be good, if somebody's going to be good. If Dillon Gabriel gets to the points where you can make the argument he's better than Brock Purdy, let's get there first before we start just trying to make the shit happen. You know, like let them play a preseason game. Let's get through the preseason before we make these kind of assertions because it's crazy. This is crazy. And you know what's the wild part? I expect to get torn up in the comments for saying that Dillon Gabriel being as good as Brock Purdy is kind of crazy. Like, y'all going to make that seem like I'm crazy for that. I'm not. Y'all tripping if you think it's just easy to become a Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL. We just going to get it easily with Dillon Gabriel. Like, dog, that's wild. That's wild. This is from the Free Agents the Browns Should Look At video. Ed McCracken says, do you think we could make a playoff run this? Don't you think we could make a playoff run? Watson gone. The defense has improved, and we said decent quarterback play would change the D. New running backs. Flacco, tight end should be awesome. O-line is good, not great. Wide receivers could be good with the right pickup. Boyd or Allen. Am I seeing this wrong? One, I don't think we're very resilient to injury at the wide receiver position. That's my big concern, right? That we're not going to be able to create a big amount of explosives, period, from the wide receiver room. And then also when you factor in, hey, you're one injury away from that wide receiver room being like destitute, it doesn't scream that you're going to have the offensive consistency available to you to win a 10 or 11, playoff amount of games. Also, we don't know what this offensive line is going to look like. You hope it's better, but they're aging. So, you're not going to expect to be the best offensive line in the NFL. Your running game is young as hell, right? You're relying on two rookies at this point in Jerome Ford. And here's the big part for me. I don't expect the Browns to start the same quarterback for 17 games. I think they're going to have to switch out and play like 3 or 4 quarterbacks this year. That's not a recipe for winning 10 games. Now, if you do it, awesome. But I can't sit here honestly believe that the Browns are going to play 4 quarterbacks. Honestly believe that the Browns are going to be out there with a young run game. Honestly believe that the Browns wide receiver room is not even close to deep enough. And then tell you that's a 10-win team. Like, that would be malpractice on my part, right? The Browns have some things where they can be a better team than I think a lot of people expect. And maybe one of those teams that doesn't win a ton, but plays really hard. But inconsistency on the offensive side of the ball, while be it not being as destitute as you were last year, I think will ultimately be something that costs you enough games to put you out of the playoff competition. But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Free agents of the Browns should look at another comment from that video from Jay, who says they just need to tank again so they can get players in the draft. Maybe Jeremiah Smith comes out of college. Well, Jeremiah Smith's coming out in 2027. I know he looks like a grown-ass man, but he is still 18 years old. It depends on what's there, right? I'm not a fan of just tanking the tank. I think that's always a bad idea. But let's say we get halfway through the season, the Browns have like 2 wins, and during the season, some quarterback emerges as the Joe Burrow of the class. Then, yeah, do what you got to do to get that dude, right? If somebody looking like Joe Burrow during the college football season, do what you got to do to go get that dude. But if that's not the case, then, win as much as you can for the sake of the program and then reassess where you are after that. Another comment from this video. Hey, Q, why can't the Browns just sign a couple of undrafted free agent wide receivers and let them compete? Guys in the room, I don't think that the Browns are going to have a lot of 5-wide formations. I want a veteran in there. Just there's not a single veteran in that wide receiver room. That's why I want somebody who's not a UDFA. There's one guy out there who's out of his rookie deal, and it's Jerry Jeudy. It's not great. The other guy's Deontay Johnson. And Jerry Jeudy might be a fine leader down the line, but he just got out of his rookie deal, man. Like, we need some vets here, right? Like, we're forcing Jerry Jeudy into a vet role. He's like 25. Another comment from that video. I don't understand why Thrash and Bell are not considered to be number 3. Thrash has only been here 1 season. And are you really? Well, it doesn't mean just because I don't want to put Jamari Thrash at the number 3 wide receiver spot that I think the Browns are ready to move on. It just means I don't think he's going to be ready. And Bell was having a good season until he was injured and catches the ball. That's the main job for a wide receiver. Well, you also got to get open, and that's what David Bell has struggled with. So, again, man, if you disagree with me, that's fine. But I personally do not want to be an injury away from having to start Jamari Thrash or David Bell as your number 2 or number 1 receiver. Like, what if you get 2 injuries to that room and you're starting Mike Woods and Jamari Thrash in a regular season game? Like, you think you're going to beat the Steelers like that? It's kind of crazy. Like, even if you're planning on being in 12, having 2 tight ends, all that stuff, like, it's not a recipe for success. Let's be real. 5 Browns who have to shine. I think Cam Mitchell could fit in as an honorable mention. Newsome is here for the year. Need to see if he can step up. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point. I agree with that. All right, but that's it for the hot takes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Having a better night. Peace.